Welcome back to Coop's Collection. Today I'm going to be showing you how to submit your cards to PSA for grading and authenticating. We'll be reviewing how to navigate PSAcard.com, which is PSA's website, and making sure that your submission looks good. And speaking of looking good, today's video is sponsored by Into the AM. If you're looking to update your wardrobe, Into the AM has graphic tees to express your personality or basic tees for everyday wear. They also have joggers, which are some of my favorite types of pants, especially as someone who works from home. I love to slip into a pair of joggers and just kind of hang out. Speaking of which, I'm wearing, you can see their logo. Yeah, there it is. Nope, this side. I'm actually wearing their clothes right now. I've got their joggers. Can you guys still hear me? I got their joggers on. These are really nice. They make my butt look really good. These joggers are super comfortable. And this long sleeve tee is actually really nice too. I was wearing their graphic tee yesterday. And I put on the long sleeve tee because it's a little cool today. It's actually super, super comfortable. It's really soft. I like it a lot. So guys, go ahead and click the link in the description of this video to get 10% off your order. It really helps me out. And let's get back to the video. All right, so we're gonna go to PSAcard.com. This is PSA's main website. It's their only website. And the first thing we're gonna do is get an account set up. So if you do not have a PSA account, definitely go through this step. If you do, you can skip ahead to the actual submission. So in the top right, this is the account button. So you go ahead and click account. And if you don't have an account, this is where you would type in your email address and get set up with a new account. So once you're logged into your account, once you set up an account and you're logged in, the first thing we're gonna do is discuss kind of the pricing and PSA membership to see if that's something that you might wanna pursue as a new PSA account holder. So if we take a look at the pricing, what we can see is that we have two tiers that are Collectors Club only. And that's really just the PSA membership. So if you don't have the membership, the lowest tier you can use is value tier, which is $24.99 per card. If you do have the membership, which is $150 per year, you get access to value bulk, which is $18.99, and trading card bulk, which is $14.99. The difference between these two tiers, trading card bulk and value bulk, is the declared value. So I want to touch on that because we're going to have to go through that when we do the submission form. Declared value is the estimated value of your card after it's been graded. So you kind of have to have a guess at what grade your card is going to get so that you can put an estimated value. So if your card ungraded is $10, but you think it's going to get a PSA 10 and the PSA 10 value is $200, you want to put $200 as the declared value. A big thing here is that if something, God forbid, happens to your cards at PSA, if they accidentally damage it or lose it, I'm not trying to scare you, this is a very rare occurrence, but if something were to happen, they would pay you out at the declared value. So if you have a card that you think in PSA 10 is worth $1,000, but you want to send it in bulk and declared it $200, if something happened to that card and you have to put in a claim, they're not going to pay you $1,000. They're going to pay you the $200. So keep that in mind when you're declaring the value of your cards. But again, it's not the ungraded value of the card as it is. It's the estimated value in the grade you think the card is going to be. Actually, I've sent 100% of my cards at the trading card bulk tier and declared it at $200. All that said, you can only use those two tiers if you're a PSA member. So you can kind of do the math a little bit to figure out if it's feasible to sign up for the membership to then use the trading card game bulk tier. We know that it's a $10 difference, right, between 15 and 25. So if you're sending 10 cards or more in a 12-month period, then you're at break even or you're starting to save money. So starting at the 11th card, you're now saving money from the membership because you have saved $150, which is paid for your membership, and now you're saving up to $10 per card. You can sign up, I believe if you click the join now, you can sign up for the membership. What you also get is a monthly magazine. So if you're a sports person, you can join the sports version. All this does is changes which magazine you get. If you want the magazine for sports, join the sports one. If you want like Pokemon and basically all other trading card games, you want the pop culture and TCG version of the magazine, so you would join that one. You'll also get access to monthly specials. So every month, PSA chooses a random special that they might do. It could be a discounted TCG bulk price. It could be a reduced minimum amount of cards you have to send. It could be, they just ran a Star Wars themed special, so all Star Wars cards were discounted. So that's just extra specials and discounts you can get on top of the normal bulk and value bulk tiers that you now have access. Once we do that, we'll go to submit, which is at the top right here, and we'll click start, which gets us into the submission tool. So now once we're in the submission tool, it'll show you if you've started any submissions, they'll be in your recent ones, or if there are any in progress. So you can start a submission and you can come back to it without losing your progress. So we'll click on new submission. Then we want to collect what we're grading. For this tutorial, we're just going to be doing trading cards, but PSA does grade other things like unopened packs. They grade Funko Pops, ticket stubs for sports, and all kinds of stuff. So we'll select trading cards, select and continue. So then we actually get a couple more options, but again, most of the people watching this video are probably just doing the very normal basic trading card grading. What they also offer are autograph grading and autograph authentication. You can review cards that you've already graded and sent in for a grade review. You can cross over grades from other companies, or you can reholder if you already have a graded card and want like a new fresh slab and label. So we're going to select grading because that's what we're doing. And then we're going to select the tier that we're sending at. So we talked about this where value bulk, TCG bulk, that sort of thing. And you can actually see the May Star Wars special is still active because today is May 31st. So this is probably the last day you can submit the Star Wars special. And you'll see it's $13.99. It's actually $1 cheaper than the trading card non-sports bulk. And you can send just 10 items to meet that threshold. So because we're doing the trading card game TCG bulk for $14.99, we have to send at least 20 items. So we're going to go ahead and select that. The thing to note is that the max declared value for this tier is 200. So if I have any cards that would be worth over $200 in PSA, in the grade that I think they're going to get, I might want to submit them at a different tier. I'm going to submit everything, though, at this tier and declare at $200. The other thing is always declare the max value you can. Even if the card is not valued at $200 in any grade, you still want to declare that just in case. I'm going to show just 2 cards for the sake of examples. We've got an English Radiant Charizard from Pokemon Go. And then we've got a Japanese Skarmory from E-Series. And so what we're going to do, let's go ahead and let's go with the Radiant Charizard from Pokemon Go first. So we are going to search for Radiant Charizard. And what PSA does now is they actually have pictures of the card so you can make sure that the card we're selecting matches the card that we have. So we see, okay, so Japanese Pokemon Go and English. So we're going to select the English Pokemon Go. We can hover over and see that's the card that we've got. So we're going to select that. We have one of them. If you have multiple copies of the same card, you would just put how many copies you have. And then we're going to declare it at $200. We're going to save that. And now it's going to show up in our list of items. So then now let's look for our next card. We know that it's a Japanese Skarmory. I don't remember which set this is from, and this might happen to you too if you don't know what set it is. Let's just see if it pops up. Okay, so the English one did in first edition. Oh wait, that's the Japanese one actually. Perfect. We're going to double check. Ours is first edition. I just looked at it. So we're going to select the Japanese Skarmory here. We're going to say we have one of them, and we're going to declare it at $200, and we're going to save it. Once you've added all the cards you want to grade, you're going to double check them. And what you want to do is make sure that your stack of cards is in the order that you have them in the list. I would make sure that in my stack, the Charizard is first and the Skarmory is second. So if I had more cards that I was putting in my submission, those would all be in order underneath of these, and I would have them in this stack in this way to match my submission form. All right, so I've actually now updated the quantity to 20 for these Charizards because I have to have a minimum of 20 cards in order to proceed at this value tier. So we're gonna hit proceed to checkout. So it's gonna ask us how we'd like to ship the cards. They have an opportunity for you to purchase shipping through PSA, or you can package it up and just ship it normally however you'd like to. I print all my labels and purchase my shipping on my own, so I'm gonna do ship on my own. And then once they're done grading, do you want them shipped back to you, or you can have them sent to the PSA Vault? I've never used the PSA Vault, so I can't speak to it. So I'm going to select ship them back to me. Usually this just ships back either FedEx or USPS, depends on what PSA chooses. We're now going to click review order. We're going to double check our submission items, making sure all the cards we selected are accurate. Again, you can hover over the pictures to make sure that that card that you've selected matches the one that you have. We're going to check the PSA grading terms and conditions box, and we are going to place our order. We're then going to get confirmation that our order has successfully been submitted, and we're going to need to print out a couple of things. So if we click on print submission form and labels, our submission form with our submission ID label, as well as our complete submission form is going to show up. So we need to print 2 copies of the submission form. So we're going to go ahead and do that, print 2 copies. So the other thing that's going to print out with those submission forms is the submission ID label. This label needs to go on the outside of your box. So you're going to take it, you're going to cut it out, and you're going to put it on the side or the top of your box. And this is so that PSA can actually scan the package when it arrives and confirm the submissions inside of it. So now we're going to look at where we're shipping this. So on this confirmation page, you'll see that there are 2 addresses that you can ship to. If you're using USPS, you're going to ship to see or receiving PO Box 6180 in Newport Beach, California, 92658. If you're shipping to FedEx, you're going to ship to see or receiving 1600 East St. Andrew Place, Suite 100 in Santa Ana, California, 92705. So make sure that you're submitting to the right location based off of the shipper that you're using. All right, so we've got our 2 submission forms. So what I'll do is I'll go and I'll check through all of the listed items and make sure, again, that my cards are in that right order. The way you need to submit your cards to PSA is in a sleeve and a card saver. So card savers are a little different than top loaders. They have a little more give in them, but PSA has a strong preference that you use card savers. So make sure you've got a penny sleeve that your card is in, which is kind of like this normal plastic sleeve. So you put it in this sleeve and then you'll put it in your card saver. You don't want to write anything on it. You don't want to have anything else except for the card in its sleeve in the card saver. And then again, you want to make sure that they are in the order of the submission. If they're not, PSA can charge you like 5% of your total. So if you're sending a bunch of cards, it could actually cost you. So make sure to do that. And then I'll usually tape these card savers kind of together on the left and right sides with painter's tape. Don't use Scotch tape. Don't use duct tape. If you use tape, use painter's tape. Some people like to put this stuff in team bags or large sleeves. But once they're taped up, what I'll do is I'll put them in like a bubble mailer just for some extra padding. And then I'll make sure that the submission form and the cards are together. And then I'll usually just put some bubble wrap around it. So once this is all bubbled up, I actually like to reuse boxes. So if I can, it depends on the size, but sometimes the PSA boxes that they ship me cards in, my submission will fit. This one's a little too big, but we'll pretend that this fits, right? So then we get our submission all boxed up. Again, make sure your cards are secure and packed up in a lot of bubble wrap, some good padding. Make sure the box is a good size and it's not too big and things are just flying all over the place, because you want these cards to arrive in the shape that you send them in. So again, now that our cards are all packaged up safe and sound inside the box, we're making sure that this submission label is on the outside of that box. Then you're just going to print out a shipping label. You're going to put it on that box and you're going to give it to the nice FedEx or USPS employee, and your cards are out of your hands for the next 30, 60, 90 days, really depends. And then you will get your cards back to you if you decided to have them shipped back to you, or they will end up in a PSA vault if you selected that option as well. Relatively simple process, but if you have any other questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section below. Hopefully this gets you on the right path to start submitting cards yourself. If you did like this video, go ahead and smash that like button. It really helps me out. If you like this sort of content, go ahead and subscribe to my channel so you get notified when I post new videos. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.